back to your home's comfort and value like structural issues. So for problems like cracks, nasty crawls,
this is the L2C Media Network, and this is Sports Final with Steve Baxley, brought to you by Nhl Sportsbook. Let's make it interesting, but let's do it responsibly. By WLNS TV6 Lansing, Jackson, here for you for over 71 years. And by the L2C Media Network. Now, with the details from the headlines that make sports great, here's the Baxman, Steve Baxley. Franklin, how are you? Good evening, everybody. Good early morning to those of you across the world. And how you doing throughout the entire mid-Michigan area? Excuse me, I feel like I got a line there. Thank you. Okay, we mentioned Great Britain, we mentioned Australia, we mentioned the world. How you doing? Glad to have you with us on Sports Final. Got a lot to bring you, including if that's not enough, we got sports and we got some we got an update on Tiger Woods. Plus, we got some news on some big old soccer moves, broadcasting wise. I think I cut my ear. There's something in there, but anyway, we'll talk about that in a moment. But right now, let's take you to some sports. Give you some headlines and everything else. So let's get to it. We've got a lot to talk about today in the sports world. And yes, we will be once again updating you on Mandy Summers and Wart the Wizard 2, the portal of echoes. Right now, let's give you the latest in sports news. And by doing that, let's kick it off with some baseball news for you. And the Hot Stove League continues to burn with relative ease. Shortstop Royce, let's try it again. Shortstop Royce Lewis, one of the Twins' top prospects, has torn his ACL and will likely miss the entire 2021 season. Twins president Derek Falvey told reporters, including from the St. Paul Pioneer Press, Betsy Hilfand, on Wednesday. 21-year-old Lewis was first overall pick in the 2017 draft out of J. Sarah Catholic High School in San Juan Capistrano, California. Thanks to the pandemic, we didn't get to see his progress at the minor league level last season, but Lewis played 127 games between Class A Advance and AA in 2019, hitting .236, .290, .371 with 26 doubles, 4 triples, 12 homers, 49 ribs with special sauce, 73 runs, 22 steals, and a partridge in a pear tree. Boy. Now, it's true that those numbers aren't very impressive, but Lewis also tore it up in the Arizona Fall League following the regular season, slashing 353, 411, 565 with 20 ribs, 21 runs in his 22 games. Still, at least some of the shine has worn off Lewis the past few years in prospect ranking circles. He went from number 9 to 29 in 2 years at Baseball America and from 5 to 17 at MLB.com. R.J. Anderson of CBSSports.com ranked Lewis as the second best prospect in Minnesota's farm system earlier this winter. Lewis was drafted out of high school and still will only be 22 next season when he hits AA and probably later in the year AAA. Now, there's still plenty young. I mean, that's still plenty young. Even if his stock has fallen, there are plenty of top 30 prospects who become stars in the majors. We've seen the promise very little, but it's there. Bottom line is this is obviously bad news in the short term, but there's still hope for Lewis to pan out in the long term. We shall see, won't we? Yes, sir. All right. Let's go to it. College basketball news for you, and why not, folks? UNC versus Marquette Tar Heels suffer a brutal loss. We'll tell you how brutal right now. North Carolina's effort to bolster its NCAA tournament resume by picking up February non-conference games backfired big time on Wednesday night when the Tar Heels dropped an 83-70 decision to a Marquette team that had added to the schedule just 4 days ago. The loss is the first quad 3 defeat of the season for the Tar Heels, who entered the night as one of the last 4 in, according to the latest bracketology from Jerry Palm, the expert bracketologist at CBS Sports. North Carolina at 14-8 will likely need a huge, strong finish in its final 3 scheduled regular season games against Florida State, Syracuse, and Duke in order to compete for an at-large bid to the Big Dance after adding what qualifies as its worst loss of the season to date. Now, this was the second non-conference game added by the Tar Heels, who won a quad 3 game against Northeastern last Wednesday that they found after soliciting opponents via Twitter. North Carolina's freshman class, ranked number 2 nationally by 24/7 Sports, has been improving as of late, but the top freshman on the court Wednesday was Marquette's Dawson Garcia. The 6'11" forward scored 16 of his game-high 24 points in the first half as the Golden Eagles opened up a 45-29 halftime lead. North Carolina pulled within 8 points in the second half, but struggled mightily to break through as the Golden Eagles forced 19 turnovers and held UNC to 5 of 18 three-point shooting. The loss also denied UNC coach Roy Williams his 900th career victory and may have been particularly significant for Marquette coach Steve Wojnarowski, a former Duke point guard who never won a road game against Tar Heels during his playing career. Marquette's only hope of making the NCAA tournament would likely be winning the Big East tournament, but their leading scorers are Garcia and sophomore DJ Carton, who looked like solid building blocks for the future on Wednesday. Carton contributed 17 points for Marquette. Now, the game did bring at least one bright spot for the Tar Heels, though, as freshman center Walker Kessler registered his 3rd straight outing with 10 points. Kessler had gone all season without reaching double figures until his role began to increase in last week's win over Northeastern. UNC was led in the loss by Garrison Brooks, 18 points. Truly sick. All right.
It's amazing. Soon we'll have as much choice in vaccine brands as we do flavors of Mountain Dew.
All right, we'll get to your college basketball scoreboard shortly. And now another baseball notation, or another baseball news. Well, Mariners' problems continue. That's right. The Seattle Mariners franchise has made waves the past week, but not in a good way. Now, former club president Kevin Mather made a fool of himself while talking for upwards of 45 minutes to a Seattle area Rotary Club. The video leaked online last weekend. Among the many issues with his comments were straight up admitting and freely discussing service time manipulation. Mather had since resigned, but the aftermath of that lingers. And the latest, well, top prospect Jared Kilnett believes club has been punishing him for not signing a club-friendly contract extension, so his agent told USA Today. It was communicated to Jerry that he had signed that contract. He would have debuted last year. It was made crystal clear to Jared now that his decision not to call him up is based on service time. There's no question that if he signed that contract, he would have been in the big leagues. End quote. From Kilnett himself, also contributed to the USA Today. It wasn't just communicated one time to me, it was told to me several times. That's a God's honest truth. It got old. End quote. Now, the situation isn't anything like the now famous Padres extension with Fernando Tatis Jr. Kilnett hasn't played above Double-A. No. Instead, the most likely offer was probably somewhere in the ballpark what the White Sox have given outfielders Elroy Jimenez 6 years, $43 million, and Luis Robert 6 years, $50 million before the respective debuts of either. Now, Kilnett, the 21-year-old, was the Mets' first-round pick in 2018 out of high school and was dealt to the Mariners in the Robinson Cano Edwin Diaz deal. He played 117 games in 2019 between Class A Advance, and Double-A hitting 291, 364, and 540 with 31 doubles, 5 triples, 23 homers, 68 ribs, 80 runs, and 20 steals. Zim, zam, zoom. Now, hi there. Now, Kilnett is widely considered a top 5 prospect in baseball, which isn't bad. Now, despite the departure of Mather, the Mariners front office, specifically General Manager Jerry DiPoto, denies holding Kilnett back for anything other than baseball reasons. Again, the report is from USA Today. Now, Mather did discuss Kilnett's decision to turn down the Mariners' offer in his Rotary Club Zoom call, saying the Mariners offered substantial money, but in his words, he's going to bet on himself. Gee, that sounds like a commercial for William Hill Sportsbook. Now, regardless of DiPoto's salient points here, the ball club has now lost the benefit of the doubt. As noted, the aftermath of Mather's comments linger, and we're all left believing that Kilnett and his agent have a legitimate beef. Ooh. Yes, indeed. All righty. Let's give you a little update, but right now we're on Tiger Woods. So let's do that right now, guys, if we can. Here we go. Tiger Woods was seriously injured and hospitalized yesterday morning after being involved in a car crash near Ranchos Palos Verdes, California. He had to be extricated from his sports utility vehicle as it sustained major damage following a single vehicle rollover traffic accident, per the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. The 45-year-old Woods completed surgery Tuesday night. The 15-time major winner underwent a long surgery on his lower right leg and ankle at the Harbor UCLA Medical Center and is awake, responsive, and recovering in his hospital room, according to a press release from his team. Mr. Woods, Dr. Anish Mahajan, the center's chief medical officer and interim CEO, said, quote, Mr. Woods suffered significant orthopedic injuries to his right lower extremity that were treated during emergency surgery by orthopedic trauma specialists at Harbor UCLA Medical Center, a level 1 trauma center. Yay. Comminuted open fracture affecting both the upper and lower portions of the tibia and fibula bones were stabilized by inserting a rod into the tibia. Additional injuries to the bones of the foot and ankle were stabilized with a combination of screws and pins. Trauma to the muscle and soft tissue area of the leg required surgical release of the covering of the muscles to relieve pressure due to swelling. Mark Steinberg, Tiger Woods' agent, initially says client suffered multiple leg injuries. Reports from the Los Angeles Times and ESPN indicated that Woods injured both legs. It is unknown whether additional surgeries are in his future. Now, his injuries were not determined to be life-threatening at the crash site. Conscious, calm, and lucid when paramedics arrived on the scene. Paramedics considered him to be in serious but stable condition, with the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department rep saying Woods was lucky to be alive, crediting his vehicle a 21 Genesis SUV and decision to wear a seatbelt. Woods was the only occupant in the SUV. He was extracted by paramedics through the windshield of the vehicle, courtesy of a hoodlum. I want to say jack, but a hoodlum rod and an axe. The LA County Sheriff Alex Villanueva said there would be no charges filed against Woods. He was not drunk, and the crash was purely an accident. So there you go. Tiger Woods doing a bit better than expected. But there is a big question one has to ask. And that is, as his recovery begins, a lot of people are asking the big question: is it going to be enough to save his career? That's right. Specifics on Tiger Woods' injuries suffered during a car crash were disclosed late Tuesday evening, and the immediate reaction was twofold. The first question, what does that mean? Second, added 3 words for his future. Now, there are 2 separate tracks to discuss here, and though they are not equivalent in importance, they are both still meaningful. Tiger Woods, the human, obviously far outweighs Tiger Woods, the golfer. The context we all know him by is on the golf course, and whatever happens with him in the future in that specific contest or context is not unimportant. The 45-year-old Tiger Woods, his body has already undergone serious trauma over the course of his life. 5 back injuries and countless operations on his knee have left us with a man who's not as whole as many 45-year-old men. To stack a car crash of this magnitude on top of all that is to put an unfathomable weight on a set of shoulders that have known plenty of unfathomable weights. On Tuesday evening, Harbor UCLA Medical Center Chief Medical Officer Anish Mahajan provide details on Tiger's severe injuries and surgery. Woods' right leg seemingly endured the lion's share of the crash, and a rod was placed in his tibia as a result. That, in and of itself, would be monumental. But it was not even close to all the damage. The injury was also open, which means that Tiger's bone broke through the skin of his body. His right ankle was also shattered. Furthermore, a fasciotomy had to be performed to relieve pressure due to swelling. This means that the soft tissue injury to Woods was severe, and there was concern about something called compartment syndrome. If this pressure starts to build from swelling, it can lead to irreversible muscle and tissue damage, or even the loss of a limb. So the sheath surrounding His muscles had been cut to relieve this pressure and will likely be left open for several days. Now, Dr. Michael Zuri, a doctor of podiatric medicine and board-certified physician who specializes in sports injuries, explained the severity of what Woods underwent today. Quote, he's going to have multiple surgeries over the next week or two. This is definitely of a limb-threatening nature. Do I think he'll lose his leg? No, probably not. The next week is crucial. Infection is a major concern. I would say a month away is when they'll kind of know what's going on, as long as he doesn't have a bone infection or soft tissue complication. This is a tenuous thing for a while. The encouraging part is that in the absence of infection, it's not crazy to think that Tiger could make his way back to a normal life. But to play golf again at an elite level, it's almost completely out of the question. Now, while everyone points to the fact that Alex Smith, who also suffered multiple breaks to his leg, made it all the way back as an NFL quarterback after nearly losing that limb, Zuri said the two injuries are not exactly the same. Alex Smith's injury was bad, but this appears to be a lot more severe. In my opinion, said Zuri, Alex Smith's main complication was the infection. Tiger's injury is worse than Alex Smith's. End quote. So, where does that leave us on day 2 of the seemingly endless road ahead? Just like the last 10 days. There are encouraging signs, but the overall outlook is not optimistic, especially as it relates to golf. While there is a road to recovery, path back to Tiger becoming a semi-broken but at least functional human being and father, visions of him winning or even playing in golf tournaments future is interesting, to say the most and least.
Anyways, after April, we will also be taking May as well as the whole summer, which into a giant 93-day month called Wakanda.
We'll just have to wait and see what happens.
Sure. No, don't.
Okay.
Is there still going to be a 4th of July?
Let's
So Black History Month is when? Labor Day? No.
No.
Now, this is going to be a tough one for you and your buddies, but we're also
okay.
Well, I thought we were buddies, Tim, but okay, you get the fall. Yeah, that's right. We get all of your.
Let's get to it. Let's go now to the scoreboard before we go to other headlines.
And let's talk Thanksgiving.
All right. We are done with, we've got games still in play right now after 3 quarters. It's the Utah Jazz over the Los Angeles Lakers, 90-64. An embarrassing night for the Lakers indeed. Golden State Warriors outpaced the Indiana Pacers, 111-107. The Atlanta Hawks still burning. They beat the Celtics, 127-112. Cleveland Cavaliers are back in business. They defeat the Houston Rockets 112-96. Miami Heat scorched the arena and took out the Raptors 116-108. In overtime, the Chicago Bulls over the Minnesota Timberwolves 133-126. New Orleans Pelicans over the CS Crawl that should be coming around here. The Pelicans 128, Pistons 110. Okay. Bulls over Timberwolves 133-126. New Orleans Pelicans over the Detroit Pistons 128-118. Oklahoma City Thunder over San Antonio Spurs 102-99. And the Charlotte Hornets beat the Phoenix Suns by a score of 124-121. And that is your NBA update for right now. Let's get back to a whole hell of a lot of fun.
I was going to say New Year's Eve, but if you insist, we'll take the whole year. Okay, so it never ends.
Okay, there we go.
It just seems like it never ends. Progress takes time, Steve.
All right.
People just need to be patient. Just go slow and wait for your piece.
Okay, so
but it won't be pumpkin. Those spices are
what happened
10 minutes, everybody.
as we bring you
Happy Black History Month, everybody. I mean, year. We'll be right back with Arsenio Hall. I meant year. You know I meant year.
Here we go.
Okay.
J.J. Watt's time's free agent appears to be approaching its conclusion, with 3 teams emerging as his potential future employers. Front runners are the Green Bay Packers, Buffalo Bills, and Tennessee Titans, per John Clayton, the NFL insider. Watt's interest in the Packers is not a surprise, considering he played for the University of Wisconsin. He's a Pewaukee, Wisconsin native, along with growing up a Packers fan. Packers have reached the last 2 NFC Championship games and could use some strong help on a defensive line that has recorded 82 sacks over the past 2 seasons. They are tied for 8th for most in the NFL. Adding a player Watts' caliber could be enough to get Green Bay to the Super Bowl in loaded NFC. I am going to take a bit of a pause for a moment. I shall return. Have to go to the visitors' locker room, or as we like to call it affectionately, the toilet. Back in a bit. You're listening and watching you're watching and listening to Sports Final. I'm going to take a little pause, then we'll get you more headlines.
We try to operate at least in respect of a place and everything paid for It was like everybody. You never know who you're going to meet. Like lawyers, doctors, educators, marketing, BBQ, Chris, always afraid that you're sitting in a place where giants meet. Wade as a restaurant in the Clinch family who meant so much to this neighborhood. To have a place where you have dignity and belong. That's the legacy of the Full Wade. Loving people, sharing and caring and loving people. That's a great way to think. Mr. Boomer, you can't keep breaking in here. You probably just blew on lovely nuts. Let me put the caffeine. Exactly what I need to fix this. Yeah, blue grain bounce heavy. No calories, no sweetness, just a kick of caffeine. Hey, smell irresistible. New X. The unknown is not empty. It's a storm that crashes and consumes, replacing thought with worry. But one thing can calm uncertainty. An answer. Uncovered through exploration, teamwork, and innovation. An answer that leads to even more answers. Mayo Clinic. You know where to go. You know, America's #1 sportsbook is here to help you make every sports moment even more interesting with an app that makes it easy to bet on all the sports you love. Bet any way you like with live and play betting, player props, futures, parlays, and more. Make secure, convenient deposits and withdrawals and win cash bonuses and free bets with fun, unique offers. Download today and get up to a $2,021 risk-free bet using promo code TDRF. Williamsville Sportsbook. Let's make it interesting. Welcome back, everybody. My guest tonight night teams, late night comedy is the host of the Arsenio Hall Show. He now stars the new movie Coming to America. Sequel to the original.
All right, let's come on.
Arsenio Hall. Arsenio, thanks for being here, man. Well, thank you for having me, sir. I guess I planned on meeting you one day, but not this way. You in New York, wherever you are on Zoom, and me sitting in front of Rick Ross's house. well, I feel a strong urge, as somebody who watched late night TV a lot. I have a strong urge to go, ooh, 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 ooh. When I see you, do people still do that to you everywhere you go? Yes. You know, I'll forever be that guy from Cleveland who brought the bars to late night. I talked dogs to bars, Stephen. But you know, when my son was little, it was crazy because
I know
we
right
walked through
now
walls, and when you're two,
YouTube are blocked.
nobody prepared you in heaven for the fact that people will bark at your father. And for a long time, he just got used to it. But one day he did ask, well, why do they bark? There are a lot of people. I have people who say, whoop, whoop, and they make different noises. A lot of people don't even realize it's a dog.
All right.
The dog pound. How could they not know?
What was the name of the family?
Back we are.
Brady Bunch?
How you doing?
Do we know?
How you doing? Back we are. Let's hope we're still recording and we're still live. Yes, we are. All right. Get the back here. Okay, and before we continue, my mom asked a question.
No, I was just asking
Okay,
you do it when you got time.
let's get back with the wonderment here of the L2C, or I'm not going to call it the old day, the sports final. Do we have more? Oh, we've already done that part. Let's sing and dance. Okay, let us get to women's basketball right now. College that be. Right. Let's get to it. Howdy, howdy, ho, howdy, howdy, boo, boo. All right, let's get to it. Let's go to some college basketball, women's style. Get you the final scores. 7th ranked Baylor over Oklahoma State, 70-51. 11th ranked Indiana beat Wisconsin, 77-48. 49. All right. 13th ranked. Oh, come on. Don't roll that on me. This is Wednesday. You're saying there are no games on Wednesday? Come on. Come on. Okay, no games on Wednesday. All right. So let's go to basketball, men's. Then we'll see if the women's pops up. I'm loving this. You go to websites, get the scores, and yet you start doing them. Boom. They go bye. All right, let's kick it off anyways. Okay, we got a game that's still in progress. It's now at the half. Fresno State over UNLV 32-30. The 20th ranked Arkansas over 6th ranked Alabama 81-66. And can't do that. There you go. 11th ranked Florida State over Miami of Florida 88-71. 13th ranked Creighton 77-53 over DePaul. North Carolina State beat 15th ranked Virginia 68-61. 25th ranked Tennessee, a 70-58 winner over Vanderbilt. Ball State, a 90-71 winner over Kent State. Southern University over Alabama A&M, 73-57. Clemson over Wake Forest, 60-39. Alcorn, a 68-59 winner over Alabama State. St. Bonaventure, 56-53 winner over Davidson. NC-A&T over NC Central, 79-63. Air Force over New Mexico, 62-55. George Mason beat up on George Washington, took his false teeth and threw it in the ocean, 63-56. Hampton over Longwood, and I think we all know what happens when you have Longwood. You blame Viagra. 74-68. Norfolk State 86, Delaware State 55. Radford over Mount Aloysius 74-51. St. Joseph's over Dayton 97-84. Holy Cross over Boston University 86-75. The Butler did it, and he did it good. 61-52 winner over Seton Hall. Furman over the Citadel 72-63. LaSalle over Duquesne 85-65. Loyola Maryland over American 60-49. Mercer over Chattanooga 81-77. Mississippi State 69 over South Carolina 48. Marquette over North Carolina 83-70. Temple over South Florida 65-47. Western Carolina 81-80 over UNC Greensboro. SFA over Northwestern State 83-57. New Orleans, let's hit that bell, 69-61 winner over A&M Corpus Christi. Memphis 61-46 over Tulane. Nichols State 83-68 winner over Houston Baptiste. Rutgers is 74-63 winner over Indiana. McNeese over Southeastern Louisiana 85-91. No, 95-91, excuse me. Southern Utah, an 85-80 winner over Northern Arizona. Lamar University, a 6-7-45 winner over UIW. Abilene Christian over Sam Houston, 86-72. Providence over Xavier, 83-68. Yep. Cincinnati 70. Tulsa, 69. And Iona and Quinnipiac were postponed. Now, do we happen to have the women's scores? Do we? Or did they all have the day off? I must know. I have to know. And we're 12 minutes past 12 o'clock. By the way, nice folks, DoorDash is. Okay. Do we have? Yeah, we do. All right, then. Let's take it and shake it. Okay, we're going to try again with the women's scores. 7th-ranked Baylor over Oklahoma City, 70-51. 11th-ranked Indiana over Wisconsin, 77-49. 13th-ranked South Florida over Temple, 56-47. 15th-ranked Ohio State. Loser to Penn State, 69-67. Iowa State, a winner over 18th West Virginia, 85-68. 23rd ranked Missouri State, a 6-7-55 winner over Southern Illinois. 25 Rutgers, a 63-53 winner over Michigan State. 24th ranked DePaul lost to Marquette, 85-71. In overtime, Villanova over Providence, 63-58. Alabama A&M over Southern University, 78-76. Mount St. Mary, 79-65 winner over Merrimack. Alabama State, 81-70 winner over Alcorn. St. Francis, Pennsylvania over Sacred Heart, 72-67 in OT. And another overtime score. Georgetown over St. John's, New York, 62-58. Toledo over Central Michigan, 72-67. Wagner, for those of you down south, Wagner, over Bryant, 72-64. Akron over Miami of Ohio, 84-63. America over Navy, 65-59. Indiana State over Evansville, 85-69. Bing the bell. Bing the bell. Bing. Put it right over here. Thank you. Thank you. Where's the, are we confused? Oh, there it is. 85-69, Indiana State over Evansville. Kent State, a 65-62 winner over Buffalo. Houston Baptiste over Nicole State, 64-59. Sam Houston, 75-55 score. And, well, come on. Come on, you gotta give us the scores, man. Okay, well, apparently their thing busted up, so women's basketball was fun, interesting, and there was some great action. Alrighty. All right, let's keep going here. More headlines, and then we'll cop the scores for you. Why? Because we can do that. So here we go. Well, another NFL news, and that is that Ben Roethlisberger will be back for the 2021 season. He'll be part of the Pittsburgh Steelers' plans. On Wednesday, Steelers president Art Rooney II formally issued a statement confirming the team's plans to have Roethlisberger back for an 18th season. As he did last month, Rooney reiterated that Roethlisberger's contract will have to be reworked. He has a base salary of $4 million, a roster bonus of $15 million that is slated to be paid on March 19th, while carrying a cap hit of over $41 million. The 11th overall pick in the 2014 draft. Roethlisberger's career milestones include 2 Super Bowl wins and 3 Super Bowl appearances. Roethlisberger's game-winning touchdown pass to Santonio Holmes in Super Bowl 53 is part. I'm sure that. And hang on for a second here. 43. Excuse me. Okay. In Super Bowl 43, part of NFL lore. 3 years earlier, he became the youngest quarterback to win the Super Bowl, as well as the first quarterback to win the title with a 6-seeded playoff team. Now, the 2004 Offensive Rookie of the Year, Roethlisberger led a Pittsburgh team that went 6-10 the prior season to a 15-1 record. Over the next 17 years, the Steelers never had a losing record with Roethlisberger under center. His run of success includes 11 playoff appearances, 8 division titles, and 13 winning seasons. Roethlisberger's 169 career wins, including playoffs, are the 5th highest total in NFL history. His 67% winning percentage is higher than Hall of Fame quarterback Brett Favre, John Elway, Dan Marino, Troy Aikman, Steve Young, and Fran Tarkenton, among others. It is also higher than contemporaries Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers, Phil Rivers, and Eli Manning. Now, one of just a dozen starting quarterbacks to win multiple Super Bowls, Roethlisberger is 7th all-time in career passing yards and 8th in career touchdown passes. 5,129 passing yards during the 2018 season are the 7th highest total in NFL history. He's good. He's good. And he'll be back this coming season. Anyway, let's go from there to the NHL and give you some NHL scores and quite possibly some AHL scores. And we have a couple of, the Canadians have fired Claude Julien and Kirk Muller. Why, do you ask? Well, simple. They've been losing, I guess. Montreal Canadian head coach Claude Julien and assistant coach Kirk Muller were shown the door Wednesday. General manager Mark Bergevin announced Montreal is promoting Dominique Ducharme to interim head coach, while the team is also adding Alec Burrows to the coaching staff. Luke Richardson and Stefan Waite will remain in their respective assistant coaching roles. So let's keep going. Here now, folks, is the NHL scores, and hopefully we got some Molson 3 stars for you. So here we go. Go, baby, go. Dallas Stars blanked the Florida Panthers 3-0. Kudobin of Dallas, 43 saves. Klingberg of Dallas, 1 goal. And Barkov of Florida with no information. Tampa Bay Lightning over the Carolina Hurricane, 3-0. Coleman with 1 goal. Colton with 1 goal. And Vasilevsky for 25 saves, all 3 from Tampa Bay. Philadelphia Flyers beat the New York Rangers 4-3. Giro for Philadelphia with 3 assists. Kreider for the Rangers of New York with 3 goals. And Gostberger for Philly, 1 goal and 1 assist. Did you know? Yes, I did. Final in overtime, the Maple Leafs of Toronto over the Flames of Calgary, 2-1. Nylander of Toronto, 2 goals. Hutchinson for Toronto, 21 saves. And Rittich for Calgary, 37 saves. Now, here we go. Arizona Coyotes over the not-so-mighty Ducks in a shootout, 4-3. Dvorak for Arizona. Kessel of Arizona, 1 goal, 1 assist. And Ekman Larson of Arizona, 2 assists. Now, final scores again. Minnesota Wild 6, Colorado Avalanche 2, LA Kings 2, Blues 1. Pedersen for LA, 35 saves. Brown in LA, 1 goal. And Doherty of LA, no information available. All right, let's give you some quickies here. And these quickies, Nhl Sportsbook. Let's make it interesting. Remember, nothing beats sports than betting, and nothing beats life than betting on sports. Remember, let's make it interesting, but do so responsibly. And if you're here in mid-Michigan, you know the best sports coverage is from the station that's here for sports fans for over 71 years. There's a legacy of sports coverage that compares to no other station, or no other station can compare to WLNS TV6 when it comes to sports. There's so much so that one station has shut down their sports at 11, disappointing sports fans everywhere. TV6, their sports department is never shut down. They're open and they cover mid-Michigan like a sports blanket. So when you want your sports, tune in to Audrey Dahlgren, Ian Kress, and Nick Mantis for all the sports, 7 days a week, 6 and 11. Plus, don't forget, for high school sports, tune in to the fifth quarter each and every Friday during the high school sports season on TV6. And for your final word, well, besides us, your final word in sports, or in this case, next to final word in sports, watch Nick Mantis and the crew for the sports overtime show. Of course, watch us at midnight on Sunday for the ultimate final word in sports. WLNS, TV6, Mid-Michigan's news, weather, and sports connection. They're always here for you, and they have been for over 71 years. All right. It does it for that. So, don't forget, Nick Ricado's got a good show tonight on the Ricado Law channel on Law Explaining the Interwebs. In fact, he is 24 minutes into a show. Huzzah. Okay, let us bombast over to get you some football scores. And here we go, baby, go. And then we'll give you a little update on what is coming, as they say, coming in near weeks and moments. Let's go to it. Are you ready? Here we go. In the Champions League round of 16, Real Madrid beat up on Atalanta 1-0, and Manchester City beat up Borussia Mönchengladbach 2-0. Europa League, Tottenham in the round of 32, Tottenham Hotspur defeated RZ Pellets Whack 4-0, aggregate 8-1. Scottish Premiership, St. Mirren and Motherwell tied at 0. Women's European Champions qualifying, Group B, Italy couldn't wait for the Israeli women, so they won anyway, 12-0. Championship soccer, Barnsley 2, Stoke City 0, Brentford 3, Sheffield Wednesday 0, Swansea City 1, Coventry City 0, Watford over Blackburn Rovers 3-2, Cardiff City over AFC Bournemouth 2-1, Preston North End and Queen's Park Rangers tied at goose eggs. League 2 action had Newport County over Walsall 1-0. Southend United over Full Screen Rovers 3-1. In the Women's International friendlies, Netherlands 2, Germany 1. She Believes Cup, Brazil over Canada 2-0. Barcelona beat Elche 3-0 in Spanish La Liga action. In the French League 1, Nimes over Lorient 1-0. In the Australian League, Melbourne defeated Wellington 2-0. Dutch soccer, Willem and ADO Den Haag tied at 1. Groningen and Feyenoord tied at 0. Greek Super League, Lemia defeated Larissa 1-0. And in the Swiss Super League, it was Vaduz 1, Luzerne 1. And there you go right there. Hello and greetings to my friends on Facebook, Twitter, Minds, Gab Social, Instagram, and TikTok, or TikTok for those of you hipper than me. Okay, let's get back and give you some big news. The streaming service formerly known as CBS All Access, which will be rebranded Paramount Plus, made some little headlines. They have added some big properties to the channel. More soccer is coming to your streaming devices in the near future. Of course, it'll be free, not like that other one, which you have to pay a price for. Viacom CBS is expanding its soccer lineup with the addition of 3 new properties for Paramount Plus, the former CBS All Access, which was announced during its investor call on Wednesday. The streaming service continues to grow and will now offer CONCACAF Nations League in the summer, featuring the U.S. men's national team and the Mexican national team, as well as CONCACAF Women's World Cup qualifying featuring the U.S. women's national team, 4-time World Cup winners, and back-to-back champions. Paramount Plus will expand on a roster that already includes the National Women's Soccer League, UEFA Champions League, UEFA Europe League, and coming soon, UEFA Conference League. In total, more than 200 CONCACAF matches will be added, starting with the CONCACAF Nations League Finals in June, which features Honduras versus the U.S. and Mexico versus Costa Rica in the semifinals. Why do I get this feeling? Though the two warriors will meet again, U.S. and Mexico. That means I will be taking neutrality to a new form.
Where's the dog?
Your room, probably. The coverage will include all 41 national teams from North and Central America, as well as the Caribbean region. In addition to the international lineup of matches, there will be hundreds of South American soccer matches added to the streaming service, as Paramount Plus adds rights to Liga Professional de Futbol. The service, as Paramount Plus, adds rights to Liga Professional de Futbol, the top flight of Argentine soccer, which includes iconic clubs such as Boca Juniors and River Plate, as well as Campeonato Brasileiro Series A, known as Brasileiro, which includes clubs as Flamengo Internacional, Sao Paulo, and Palmeiras. Between those two leagues, over 600 matches will be included in the service. In addition to the leagues added to the streaming platform, Paramount Plus announced the following soccer documentaries. Look at the legendary manager of Manchester United and one of the most memorable figures in European football in Sir Alex Ferguson, Never Give In, and an original soccer documentary series produced by Peter Ragnovich, the award-winning coordinating producer of CBS Sports' UEFA coverage. Paramount Plus will release several soccer docos every year starting later in 2021. It's called Stories from the Beautiful Game. This gets folded into a stellar sports lineup, including the Masters and NCAA's March Madness, as well as NFL, college football, and basketball games that CBS has big old rights to. Wow. That's a big-ass lineup, don't you think? That's right. We all think that. Let's see. Besides that, do we have any further media tidbits to give? Oh, yeah. One more thing we got to give you. Inside the NFL, which was an original HBO show when that network began its home box office, then moved from home box office after more than 4 decades on cable TV at HBO from 1977 to 2008 and Showtime from 2008 till 2021, Inside the NFL is making a move to a digital streaming service. Now, of course, we could tell you that they're moving to a new thing, but nope, they're going to be staying in the family of Showtime. After all, Showtime is part of the Viacom CBS triumphant. That's right. The streaming service that Inside the NFL is headed for is Paramount Plus. Paramount, of course, formerly CBS All Access from Viacom, the corporate parent mount of Showtime. The move was announced as part of a Viacom CBS media call on Wednesday about Paramount Plus rebranding and the new programming that will be available there. And we'll talk about that at a later time. By the way, there will also be a version of 60 Minutes on the service called 60 Minutes Plus. Inside the NFL is currently hosted by James Brown, Phil Simms, Brandon Marshall, and Ray Lewis. And wow, they cover football like nobody else can. What can we say? This is a move that probably makes some sense for all sides, though. Paramount Plus currently does have less subscribers than Showtime. Viacom CBS currently has a combined 30 million streaming subscribers globally and 19 million in the U.S. Showtime's own over-the-top streaming service as well sort of pales in comparison. While Showtime was estimated to have 20 million cable subscribers in November, That's sort of a little ifrudy. That golf isn't huge, and those numbers are before the launch of Paramount Plus with its extensive film libraries and new originals. It seems likely the new service will be bigger than cable Showtime before too long, and this lets Viacom CBS promote Inside the NFL as something to attract new subscribers to Paramount Plus. And with Paramount Plus going from $4.99 ad-supported to $9.99 a month ad-free at launch, there's not a huge dollar barrier here for those who really care about Inside the NFL. At any rate, it's a pretty good deal and a pretty good bargain as well. And there you go. And there you go. There you go. There you go. Everybody in the wholesale rock, go dancing in the jailhouse rock. Yeah. Okay, we are heading to that little moment that we like to call. That's right, the dramatic pause moment. We go scoreboarding. So let's go to it. Here comes the scoreboard. And here we go. And here we go. Geo. Scoreboard time. We'll give you, of course, hockey and a few other little sports bon mots for you. Let's head over as we see the loading circle of passiveness. Rolling. Okay, let's give it to you fast and give it to you good. All right, I think we got all these. Yes, we do. Okay, so let's give you a little hockey. Czech Republic after a shootout. Plzeň over Liberec 4-3. In La Liga, Finland, after overtime, Talpa over Asat 4-3. Helsinki over Liko 1-0. In a shootout, Pelicans over Salpa 3-2. Tapra over JYP over Tapra, you know what I mean, 3-2. And Karpat over Turku 4-3. There's your final scores. And folks, we have done it. We are done. And we're glad you were here for it. I want to thank all of you for watching, caring, and just being a part of this broadcast. Thank you very much. You all have a good evening. For myself, Steve the Baxman Baxley, we'll see you tomorrow night at 11:35. No matter what happens, we're going to be here, and we hope you will be too. Good night. God bless, and blessings. This has been a presentation of Mystifying Creativity Productions in association with L2C's Media Network and L2C Sports, along with YouTube. Thank you, everybody, for watching. I am Steve the Baxman Baxley for Franklin Pangborn, our substitute announcer, and Harry Von Stuttgart, our regular announcer, on vacation for the next 2 weeks.